Recently, you might have noticed a whole range of rather unpleasant looking dressing up costumes in shop windows. That's because last week was Halloween. And Halloween is celebrated by many people, and sometimes some churches actually put on a party as an alternative party, which they might call a light party. And that they would do so that they can offer an alternative to young people and children to celebrate goodness and the goodness of God as opposed to Halloween. Now, normally we celebrate things that make us happy, that we are grateful for, that contribute to our lives. Normally we celebrate birthdays because we're very glad that that particular person is in our lives. We're glad and grateful that they were born. We celebrate wedding anniversaries because we're glad to be married. It's a day we want to remember. Or we want to celebrate with others because our loved ones were united on that day. We celebrate victory days. We celebrate Christmas because the Son of God was born. We celebrate Easter because the Son of God was raised from the dead. And we celebrate these days because we're grateful and they contribute to our lives. Halloween, on the other hand, is somehow outside this category. It made me reflect on what we celebrate on Halloween, or what people celebrate. Well, Halloween is a pagan Celtic tradition, and it was a festival which originates from about 2,000 years ago. And this festival was called Samhain. And actually Celts in Ireland and Scotland celebrated this day as the day before the New Year. They celebrated 1st of November as the New Year, beginning of the New Year, and the 31st of October was marked as a day when the barriers between physical and spiritual realm were broken. And so they believed that on this day their ancestors rose from the dead. So they would dress up in dressing up costumes like animal heads and things like that. And they would do that to basically send the ghosts back. In 5th centuries, Pope Boniface changed Samhain to a Christian festival or celebration and changed the date as well. Later on, Pope Gregory changed it back to the 31st of October. And it is now celebrated as All Souls Day or All Hallows Eve. The tradition of trick-or-treating, going door to door, asking for sweets and asking for money, that all goes back to the Celtics as well. In Ireland and in Scotland, people used to dress up in animal heads and different costumes and go door to door singing songs to the dead. One assumes that they were singing these songs to send the ghosts away. And of course, tradition has changed. And now, in the United States of America, only on Halloween Day, 600 million pounds of candy or sweets are consumed. That's 600 million pounds in weight sweets are consumed, and that makes about 24 pounds, or about, I think that's about 12 kilos of sweets per person per year. That's a lot of sweets. You might think it's over a year, but that's a lot of sweets and that's a lot of sugar, which nobody needs. And of course, what we really need to think about is, why do we celebrate this day? What makes us happy about it? What does it contribute to our lives? What are we grateful for? To make it an event, what are we grateful for on the 31st of October that we celebrate? And our health minister said something like, if people do not have their third vaccinations, the third COVID booster vaccination, that Christmas might be cancelled. The things that are truth cannot be cancelled. The things that are lies, that are darkness, are not true anyway. That they are not there. We make them up. We make up something called Halloween and try and celebrate it and actually make evil look good, make light of darkness, make light of hatred. There's enough hatred in the world already. I remember when my girls were really little, we had some children at the door, knocking on the door, asking for sweets with a basket in their hands and asking for money. Actually, most of them were not satisfied with the sweets, so they were asking for money. And I do remember trying to explain to them why we didn't believe in Halloween. But it wasn't just that. One of those little boys had this mask that was a really long face, painted, horrible looking long face with just blood kind of running down his eyes. And I remember my little girl just looked at him and screamed, and she was so frightened. She was so frightened, she just went inside, and I tried to explain to these boys and then closed the door. But we need to think what we're celebrating, because cancelling Christmas is not an option. Christmas has already happened. The Son of God has already come. The Son of God has already risen from the dead. The living God is with us. It is whether we celebrate it on our own, whether we don't do anything to celebrate it, whether we are with a family of loads of people, or whether we are having chicken or turkey or pork or unable to eat a fancy meal. Whatever we do, Christmas has already happened. Jesus has already come. We cannot cancel it. It is not an option for us. What we can cancel is celebrating evil when there's actually enough evil in the world. In the New Testament, in 3 John, there's a verse that says, "Do not imitate what is evil, but what is good. Anyone who does what is good is from God. Anyone who does what is evil has not seen God." Do not imitate what is evil. When we make fun of it, when we think it is actually entertainment, we are imitating evil. And there's a little thought for all of us about what we choose to celebrate and are thankful for, and what we choose not to celebrate, because we would much rather celebrate Jesus every single day of our lives.